As we've looked at in the last 3 videos, critical theory, and to a much larger extent postmodern thought, is quickly taking over our schools, workplaces, and governments. With the election of Biden and Harris, we can expect to see even more of these policies integrated into our government. As Biden has already suggested, he will be re-implementing critical race theory into government agencies, and Harris revealed her true woke ideology in this video on equity.
Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
So why does any of this matter? It matters because this way of thinking has the power to undo the tremendous progress that we have already made. Postmodern thought rests on the assumption that objective knowledge is impossible, that knowledge is a construct of power, and that society is made up of systems of power and privilege that need to be deconstructed. This is the direct antithesis of all the values we cherish that have helped to create a freer, more fair society. So, what is the alternative to this way of thinking? The alternative is liberalism. Liberalism values individual and universal human values. Critical theory rejects both in favor of group identity and identity politics. Liberalism encourages disagreement, debate, and even criticism of itself. Critical theory cannot be criticized and silences debate. Liberalism believes in progress. Critical theory is cynical about the possibility of progress. So, what exactly is liberalism? Liberalism is this great social project that we've all been involved in for the last 500 years. It is the desire that we have as a species to gradually make society freer, fairer, and less cruel, one practical goal after another. It doesn't claim to be a solution to conflict, but a system of slow, gradual conflict resolution. Unlike critical theory, it does not require a revolution to implement its ideals. Instead, it is evolutionary. Always a work in progress, slowly solving one problem after another. Liberalism is centered around the core tenets of individual liberty, equality of opportunity, freer and open inquiry, and free speech and debate. Liberalism spearheaded the civil rights movement and the women's rights movements, and largely affected legal equality on the grounds of race, gender, and sexuality in the second half of the 20th century. It wasn't immediate. Cultural acceptance of these values took time and painstaking debate from activists and leaders in the movement. But in 2020, equality has largely been achieved, all due to the liberal values of the free exchange of ideas and a belief in the equality of all humans. These ideas have won over the last 500 years and produced the freest, most equal societies with the least suffering the world has ever known. So this Thanksgiving, let's reject these toxic ideas of critical theory that ascribe blame to certain identity groups and paint entire systems and peoples and histories as racist. Let's instead be grateful for the ideas of liberalism that make the case for egalitarian social reform and tolerance of human difference through reasoned conversation. Where in the marketplace of ideas, the better ideas eventually win out. Where it's messy and imperfect, but eventually achieves the goals we all believe in peacefully, and not through government fiat. Critical theory teaches us that we have made little progress, and that the racist, misogynist, and homophobic power structures are still very much in place. But as Steven Pinker says, the data show that liberal countries are on average better educated, more urban, less fecund, less inbred, more peaceful, more democratic, less corrupt, less crime-ridden, and less coup-ridden than at any other time in human history. Liberal values have done more to decrease human suffering and poverty through technological advancement, effective infrastructure, medical and other scientific advances, as well as upholding human rights. So this Thanksgiving, let's drop the cynicism, let's drop the identity politics, let's drop the arrogant notion that we're better than our forefathers. Let's be grateful for the massive amount of progress that we've made as a species. Let's hold tight to the ideas of liberalism that have gotten us this far. The respect for individuals, the resistance to power, the acceptance of conflict, the insistence on conversation, and the belief in humanity.